Kenya Kwanza are going in as a coalition of parties. And that is to underpin exactly what the Speaker has said, that we anticipate and we are going to work with other parties. We in Kenya Kwanza want to work with other parties, but also to give those parties the opportunity to be identified, to have their identity, to have their respect. As much as we work in a coalition, they also have to stand out and have their identity. And that is why we are going as a coalition of parties. And the deadline for lodging our document is actually on the 9th of May. So I hope that clarity will now help our supporters. As the Speaker put it, there are some fellows who will require Ino or Andrews across the political divide, because what we have seen from our competitors is that they are trying to force an engagement that does not allow for the recognition of the individual political parties. And us in Kenya, we are saying there's room for that recognition. So with that, I now say, Ndugu, well done. You've spoken for millions of Kenyans, and we are happy to hold hands and journey together on this Kenya Kwanza ship, which is for all the individual Kenyans in our country. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Okay, let me request my good brother, Moses Masika Wetangula, the party leader of Ford Kenya. And he reminds me often that they were in the same college with Justin Muturi.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Fellow Kenyans, my dear brother, Speaker Justin Muturi, my distinguished classmate at the University of Nairobi and the Law School, Your Excellency, Deputy President, my brother Musalia, my good neighbor, Jirani Mwema, Joseph Konzolo, the leadership of DP, and our colleagues in Kenya Kwanza. Today is a very, very important day, because this event culminates in the absolute deconstruction of a mirage called the deep state, and the continuation of the reconstruction of an equitable Kenya. We come here to receive and be joined by a party that has a very admirable chapter in the political history of this country. 20 years ago, DP, or Democratic Party, and Ford Kenya came together. They ended up forming government. When Michael Wamalwa Kijana and Mwai Kibaki spearheaded the change that swept Kenya in 2002. It is therefore not strange that 2 decades later, our two parties are now joined with our brothers in UDA and ANC and many others to again lead the country into a change that makes sense to our people. This country, ladies and gentlemen, has a resilience like no other. Every time those who have been given the privilege of navigating our ship become rogue, Kenyans take control of the ship and steady it back to the deep waters. And we are doing exactly that. When you walk around this country, you hear, you feel what Kenyans think and what they say. Of course, there are those who fall in the category of a character called Maimuna in a book called God's Bits of Wood. She was blind, and she said she has never quite understood how people with eyes don't see. And she herself was blind. And we have people in this country with eyes, and they don't see. There's a storm coming, and they're just seated there watching and thinking it will obey them and move back. So today, my brother Justin and your team, you have made Kenyans proud. And we stand here and dare say that the movement from the third arm of government, the legislature, to the people of Kenya is now complete. Speaker Kenneth Makelo Lusaka is in Kenya Kwanza. Speaker Justin Bedan Njoka Muturi is with Kenya Kwanza. Now the other arm that is left is a mirage called the deep state. Sometimes it's called the system. But people know that on 9th of August, there's going to be a hurricane through Kenya. Those with eyes, let them see. Those with ears, let them hear. And we in Kenya Kwanza want to assure the people of Kenya that we want a Kenya that is equitable, a Kenya that is fair and just to all our citizens. That's what we are looking for. And in so doing, as I finish, I want to remind the organization called NCIC, led by what I thought was a respected reverend, that you should, with your team, read Articles 92, 93, and 94 of the Constitution, and they will clearly tell you that you have taken a trajectory that will embarrass you. Because you have no power, you have no right in law or in fact to make law. Laws are only made in houses of parliament. You must also read Section 25 of the Act that set you up, that defines what your role is. It does not include telling Kenyans which vocabularies to use. It doesn't. And when Kenyans say Linda Kura, it is real. When Kenyans say Hatupangwingwi, how does that threaten our cohesion? When Kenyans say watajua hawajui, how does that threaten our cohesion? So Reverend Kobia and your team, you are now falling into the trap of Kenyan public servants who think that at every time they must appear to be doing something, however ridiculous. Don't ridicule yourselves, and for avoidance of doubt, in our next rally we are going to say Hatupangwingwi, we are going to say Linda Kura, and we are going to say watajua hawajui. And I can tell you, Kenyans, that the growth of language can never be inhibited by any single individual. That's why When you go to the English dictionary, the Oxford English Dictionary, you find words like safari. They're queuing for fuel. They're queuing to enter public transport. They're queuing for everything. They're queuing for jobs. Please, the deep state, save Kenyans this burden and embarrassment of telling Kenyans to go and register the SIM cards whose details you already have. We will ask our lawyers, led by Kithure Kindiki and others, if they don't stop, to go to court and stop them. Because it is illegal, it is a nuisance, and is burdensome to Kenyans for no reason whatsoever, howsoever. And we will tell Kenyans just as much. My brother Konzolo, karibu ongee na watu wako. Jirani mwema, a man who walked across Kenya with Mzee Mwai Kibaki and made Kenyans very proud. And today we have the distinction of telling you without any fear of contradiction that Mzee Kibaki remains the finest president Kenya has ever produced. Thank you.
It can't be still morning. Can I say good afternoon? Good afternoon. My colleague, His Excellency, Deputy President of Kenya, the leader of the ANC, my good friend, and my Jirani Mwema, about tumekuwa pamoja for such a long time, particularly when you were the Minister for Foreign Affairs. You know how Kibaki used to praise you when we go for cabinet meetings, which today I never heard. Hamjambo tena. My neighbor, my good neighbor, you made a very good comment when you were finishing. When you talked about Honorable Kibaki, it reminds me of so many things. He has been my party leader for many years. And I would like whatever we are doing, like it has happened in churches, when you are being ordained, the bishop holds your head and then gives you the authority to go about reading the Bible. When we finish Kenya Kwanza, and for our success, I would like to ask the Deputy President to find a moment when we can now visit Mheshimiwa Mwai Kibaki, at least to place his hand, and you know you will do it, to place your hand on you so that we may lead the country like he has been doing. I'm happy to be here with all of you, at least trying to achieve what my National Delegate Conference the other day resolved, that we better be joining the people with our ideas, we share the ideas, the opinions. I may not talk much about many things, but let me talk about Democratic Party of Kenya. Democratic Party of Kenya, many people think is 20 years. That is 1992, because 1992 is when we got, when Section 2 was scrapped, and then we were given a certificate. We had started way back. We are 35 years now. We had started way back in 1987 when Kibaki was the Minister for Health. And because we used to meet every night at John King's area, at Karume's area, thinking about the country, about the issue of one-party system. Because at that time we were one party. And then at that time, 1987, we started talking about a Democratic Party. And that continued up to the time when we got the document, that is 1992. And that time, because there is this American organization called NDI, there was one representative of NDI who had just come to the airport, and then on arrival he was asked, "Who are you?" And where are you going? He said, I'm a director of NDI, and I'm going to Kenya to promote democracy. Sort of way back. Hiyo kitu naita democracy, we don't know it about here. That is why, after receiving the document in March 1992, myself and Honorable Kibaki, we traveled to Washington with a document to tell them, Kenya is a democratic country. You are now welcome. Come back here and be with us. And from that time, you know what has been going on until where we are now. A lot has been said, and a lot has been done. I may not cover a lot of those things, but I may highlight a few things which we and the Democratic Party are aligned on and what we would like to see. It is good that we are now joining Kenya Kwanza, and we are going to be part of Kenya Kwanza, sharing opinions, sharing our thinking so that at least we move together. We have got 2 or 3 points which are very, very important to be highlighted. One is that DP joins Kenya Kwanza coalition as a distinct party. That is one thing which is very, very clear. Number 2, all party leaders of the coalition are equal in management of the coalition. Is that right? Number 3, any member of the coalition can exit within 30 days from now. So you've got 30 days, 30 days to think about it, evaluate, and tell us back what it is. And then government shall be shared